You wouldn't find Alvin's secret camp even if you searched for 100 years. The next morning, to Hiccup's surprise, the dragons of the Dragon Rebellion had vanished. Outside, the landscape was a smoking, burning ruin, but there was no sign of human or dragon life. The rain poured down relentlessly. "They've gone," breathed Hiccup, unable to believe their good fortune. Peering out of the treehouse hideout. "Now we can go and find and rescue Hamkazi." "Do you think that this is a trick?" whispered Fishlegs. "Surely we would still be ambushed on our way to Alvin's camp." "Ivor says that we will be fine," voiced the Rodensfang and Norse. "Don't ask me how I know, but the Dragon Furious will not attack us for now." But even with their Rodensfang's reassuring assurance, it was terrifying to venture out of the hideout once again, with the worry that at any moment they might be attacked by the Dragon Furious or by the witches' spy dragons. The tree above the underground treehouse was still burning when they left it, a blackened, smouldering stump. Snotloud, on the back of the hurricane, led them through the eerie landscape. Hiccup had seen worlds destroyed before, but this was 10 times worse. Everyone was silent, awed by the devastation. What had once been the half-burnt remains of a forest now looked like the smoking surface of the moon. If it hadn't been for the river, they would never have found their way, for the landscape was unrecognisable. Whole mountains had been demolished, shaken to rubble as if there had been an earthquake. Whole forests reduced to little toasted sticks of kindling and ash. Every now and then the river itself was blocked and dammed by gigantic torn-up rocks from the obliterated hillside. Water spurted up and round the obstructions like blood from a wound before reverting to its original course. The bite in Hiccup's arm was a constant reminder of the vampire spy dragon. He could track him down through the tooth still buried in its flesh. It could appear out of nowhere, out of nothing, so Hiccup was constantly looking over his shoulder, feeling that any moment he could be attacked again. The bruises spread so that the whole left-hand side of Hiccup's body was purple in colour, right down to his knee. "I look like a moon dragon," Hiccup joked, but this was to cover up how frightened he was. All the discoloured areas were so numb that he couldn't feel or use his left arm at all. It was hard to cling on to the deadly shadow's back. He told himself that the spy dragon had been scared off by the scale of the Dragon Rebellion attack last night, along with everything else. They crept through the devastation, scurrying, terrified, to hide behind the corpse of a blasted tree and then onto another, and even though they were shaded by the wings of the deadly shadow, they felt painfully visible, the only moving things in a wasteland of nothing. "We will find her, we will," said Hiccup. "Wow," breathed his Snot like that dragon really does want to get you, doesn't he, Useless? "I wouldn't want to be in your shoes if he ever finds you." "But why isn't the Dragon Furious here?" muttered Hiccup, the tick in his eye working as he squinted all around them. "Why isn't he stalking us? He knows we are in these mountains somewhere. Why is he not hunting?" That isn't like a dragon. It doesn't feel right. When a dragon has something trapped, it goes in for the kill. Where is he gone? Smart Hiccup. The Rodensfang fluttered innocently above Hiccup's head. Yes. It's the Rodensfang deal, isn't it, with the Dragon Furious. Out of nowhere, Toothless suddenly bit him. "Ow! Toothless, that isn't nice," said Hiccup. "No, not good manners at all." Sorry, whimpered Toothless, thoroughly bewildered. Not sure why Toothless like that. It's all a bit scary for poor Toothless." There they are, going through the rain. Oh, Hiccup with his shield. Rattled and jumpy, Toothless was indeed not quite himself. They made their way down the river and dismounted from the dragons beside the gigantic sea cliff waterfall where Kamikaze and Snotlight had nearly fallen to their deaths the previous night. "Alvin's camp is right here," announced Snotlight proudly. "It's colossal. Hundreds and hundreds of boats and a whole floating town." "What on earth do you mean?" asked Fishlegs, shielding his eyes and peering out to sea. "Is this camp invisible like the vampire spy dragons?" Fishlegs had a point. In front of them, as far as the eye could see, was a desolate ocean wasteland, punctuated by monumental icebergs and fantastical ghost shapes. There was no sign at all of an enormous hidden camp. "I mean exactly what I say," Fishlegs said Snotlout. "Here is Alvin's camp." Hiccup and Fishlegs looked at Snotlout with open mouths. "Are you mad or just lying?" asked Fishlegs. "A camp can't be invisible." That's why you need me, said Snotlout smugly. It's right underneath us. He paused for effect. The camp is behind the waterfall. The humans and the dragons looked at him with round, amazed eyes. Behind this waterfall is a truly immense sea cavern, boasted Snotlout. Inside that cavern, on stilts over the water, the witch and Alvin had built their war bunker. Hiccup and Fishlegs looked at an awe at the tremendous cascade of water falling down, down, down into the sea below. Well, I'll be hornswoggled, breathed Odin's-Fang. No wonder Stoic and Valarama haven't found this camp. Hiccup swallowed. So what's the plan, Snotlout? You know the territory. How do we get behind the waterfall? And once we're there, how do we steal the lost things and rescue Kamikaze? Nice to see you're putting me in charge for once. It's useless, drawled Snotlout. Listen and learn, Hiccup, and you'll see how a real leader plans a military operation. Now, he said briskly, flying behind the waterfall is quite easy. In the centre of the waterfall, the water is an impenetrable force that would sweep you down and smash you on the rocks below. But at the edge, the fall is quite light and you can fly right through it. Genius, said Hiccup, impressed at his enemy's cleverness, in spite of himself. But once we're actually in the cavern, things get dangerous. Oh no, shivered Ticklish till his hates it when it's dangerous. The cavern is patrolled day and night by Alversman sentries on foot and on the back of the bull guards. We'll have to fly inside in formation with the Windwalker and the Hurricane flying low under the deadly shadow so that hopefully the sentries won't spot them. Hopefully, groaned Toothless. Toothless hates hopefully. The underground village is built on wooden platforms over the water, so we'll head straight for those wooden platforms and fly underneath them. There are hatches all along the way, where the Alversmen throw rubbish down and catch fish. I can take us to the hatch which leads up into the room where they're keeping the lost things. We'll sneak in, steal the things, and load them onto the deadly shadow's back through the hatch. This is a ridiculous plan, howled Fishlegs. I can't believe we're even thinking about it, Hiccup. Your Fishlegs friend is suspicious, Hiccup, said Snotlout, his eyes glinting. The question is, are you? Are we suspicious? I'm going to trust you, said Hiccup. Oh, frizzling, frizzy, fuzzy fish fingers of Loki, moaned Fishlegs to no one in particular. All I wanted was a nice quiet life as a bard, a little cottage, a nice lyre. It's not much to ask, is it? Well, what did the gods make me instead? A major contestant in an interspecies war. I mean, I ask you, talk about bad luck. Windwalker huddled next to Fishlegs and gave him an affectionate, understanding lick on the face. Fishlegs grinned in some type of himself. Dragon slobber always makes everything better. Excellent, said Snotlout, climbing aside the Hurricane. Follow closely behind me. Snotlout took off, but before the others could follow, Hiccup motioned them into a huddle. What are we doing? Whispered Fishlegs. I want to trust Snotlout. I really, really want to trust him. But I'm not quite sure that I can. Oh, so in case he does happen to betray us after all, here is Plan B. Ah, murmured the Odin's-Fang, that is wise. You are learning, Hiccup. Hope for the best, but at the same time, prepare for the worst. That is kingly behaviour. Fishlegs agreed. Oh, phew, I'm so glad there's a Plan B. I'm not very keen on Plan A. As quick as he could, Hiccup outlined Plan B to everyone, and both dragons and humans nodded to say they understood. But Plan B is even more dangerous than Plan A, complained Fishlegs. Well, I'm really hoping we won't have to put it into action, said Hiccup grimly. Come on, Snotlout whispered from where he was hovering about 30 feet below at the edges of the waterfall. We haven't got all night, scaredy cats. I'm the leader now. When I say go, go. Honestly, Hiccup, you and your sidekicks have no idea of military obedience. No idea at all. I like this new improved Snotlout with added old-fashioned charm, said Fishlegs, climbing aboard the deadly shadow. Don't you? Hiccup rode Windwalker and Fishlegs the deadly shadow. They hovered for a moment or two on the edge of the waterfall, getting into position. Looking at the tumultuous cascade in front of them, it seemed impossible that there could be anything on the other side. You have to fly through it quite fast, so get a bit speed up, advised Snotlout. Ready? Now! Fishlegs went first. He gave a few gentle taps with his heels. The deadly shadow reared upwards in alarm, for it was as if Fishlegs was driving straight at a wall of water. But the three heads put their mouth in a determined line. The great chameleon dragon turned itself exactly the colour of falling water. Oh, I love the deadly shadow. Look at them going through the waterfall. Oh, I love the deadly shadow. Flew straight at the cascade at considerable speed. It was a peculiar feeling plunging through the waterfall. An instant, soaking, chilling stun of water so cold that they nearly screamed. And Toothless flying above did indeed let out a happy squeak. and then they were out the other side, gasping with the shock of it. Fishlegs break the deadly shadow sharply, and the dragon reared up to hide the Windwalker and the hurricane hurtling in after them. "What